Welcome to my channel, Why Do People Mask Suicidal Thoughts? If you're new to the channel, you're wondering why do I have these masks on? Well, let's define mask. According to Webster, mask is to hide, to conceal, or to disguise. So I'm only using these masks as an illustration or to represent what we do when we are having a mental health crisis and we are struggling with our mental health and have thoughts of suicide, we're depressed and have anxiety, and we don't want people to know our true feelings because we feel that we'll be ostracized, or we feel ashamed, or we feel that we're considered as weak. But I'm here to tell you, no, you're not weak. Mental health, mental crisis can impact us all. It does not discriminate. It doesn't discriminate with your race, your religion, your creed, your social status, your bank account. It can impact us all. So I want to use my own testimony to encourage you to no longer suffer in silence, to learn to reach out to positive friends and family when you are having a mental health crisis. And also, there are a team of specialists that are designed to coach you and help you get you back on track, which are a licensed psychiatrist, a licensed psychologist, a licensed therapist, and a counselor. They're able to provide you with an evaluation, an assessment, and then they can diagnose your condition and provide you with a treatment plan to help you learn to live with your mental illness crisis. So, people, help is available. According to statistics, 90% of mental health cases have a treatable diagnosis. However, it's imperative for you to get treated. So, no, people, you're not crazy. It's a mental illness. It's no difference from someone having diabetes or cancer. You have a mental illness of the brain. And when your mental health is off, nothing will work. I like to use the analogy like a computer hard drive. If the hard drive is broken, no applications will work. That's like your mental health, your brain. Your mental health status has to be healthy for anything else to work. So it's an imperative for us to take our mental health more seriously, to know, set up boundaries, to know what your triggers are, and to seek help. Just like we go get a physical exam, it is imperative for you to get a mental evaluation to make sure that your mental status is healthy. It is imperative for us to take mental health more seriously because according to the CDC.gov, the latest data in 2020, unfortunately, suicide was the second leading cause of death for kids ages 10 to 14 and 25 to 34. The second leading cause of death. It's the ninth leading cause of death overall from ages 10 to 64, according to the CDC.gov, the latest data in 2020. And in 2020, over 1.2 million people attempted suicide. So it is imperative for us to make sure that we are mentally stable, that when we are challenged and we are struggling with our mental health, to reach out to friends and family, contact a specialist. Also, the suicide prevention hotline is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They can be reached at 1-800-273-8255. And the reason why I know that number because I myself have utilized that number. And they have trained professionals that will be able to coach you and inspire you to live and give you resources in your area so you can contact the specialist so they can do the proper evaluation and give you a treatment plan, just like somebody that has heart problems and they have to take heart medication. With your mental illness, if you have a mental illness and it requires management, The psychiatrist will be able to determine that and provide you with your treatment plan to help you to learn to live stable with your mental illness condition. The reason why I know I'm a suicide survivor. I live with a mental illness today. However, I'm suicidal free. I do have my days where I feel depressed. I suffer from bipolar depression 1, where I have times where I have episodes where I feel extreme euphoric, where I feel like I can do anything. And then I have episodes where I feel very depressed and debilitating, like I can't do anything. So I know how you're feeling. Well, sometimes it's very difficult. However, with a team of specialists, uh, having hope, being optimistic about your future, you can learn to live and cope with your mental illness. Learning your boundaries, learning when to unplug, and learning to take care of self care. It's imperative for us to have our mental health healthy. So, people, I just wanted to again use my own testimony to encourage you, to hope that you no longer suffer in silence, that you reach out to positive friends and family, and you'll be surprised how they want you here. They want you to live. I want you to live. God spared my life, and He gave me this vision to start the channel so I can use my own testimony and share some techniques that I've learned over the 12 years dealing with my mental illness. So I just wanted to encourage you and inspire you. Also, I did want to come over on the channel because it is Mental Health Awareness Month, and my plans was to talk about postpartum depression psychosis. And the reason why I was going to start with that topic is because it's so near and dear to me, because after the birth of my son, that was my diagnosis, postpartum depression with psychosis. However, I want to be very authentic and transparent, and I wanted to shift that topic today because I saw an interview today, and it was on the Red Table Talk with Jada, her mom, and her daughter. And they had the guest of April, who was Cheslie Kryst, mom, Miss USA 2019. Miss April and her stepdad came on the show. They were so courageous and being transparent and vulnerable, talking about their daughter's life, her legacy, and her mental illness condition. I commend them because suicide is such a taboo subject and it is often stigmatized. But they were so courageous in sharing their story about their daughter's mental health condition. So I wanted to commend them, and I also want to send my sincerest, deepest condolence to them as they have lost their beautiful daughter to mental illness. Again, mental illness is a disorder of the brain. It can affect the way we think, we feel. It brings about being hopeless, and it can cause us to commit suicide. So people, let's be kind, as Miss April stated. Let's not be judgmental, and let's tear down the stigma so people will come out and talk to you and tell you their darkest moments, and where you can inspire and encourage them and not be judgmental when they come to you and tell you they are struggling with their mental health. Oftentimes, I believe a lot of people misconstrue sadness and mental illness. Sadness is an emotion, and we're impacted and challenged with our mental health when we go through something in our life that's challenging, like traumatic, like a loss, of a loved one, a loss of a job, a home, divorce, or you get a diagnosis that you're ill. All of our mental health is challenged. And some people, we experience sadness because that's the natural emotion when we go through something traumatic. And oftentimes people are able to bounce back and be productive. However, with a mental illness, when a person goes through something traumatic like a loss or lost a job, a divorce, they can experience mental illness, which is persistent sadness, and it affects their mood. And it is a mood disorder, and it's an illness, and it's a chemical imbalance, which prevents them from functioning every day, and it's debilitating. So please, I encourage you, let's not be judgmental and say, well, I experienced this in my life. Why haven't this person been able to bounce back? Because it's two different things. You've experienced an emotion, sadness, and thank God you were able to bounce back. However, some people experience a mental illness, and it's a disorder of the brain where it distorts your thinking, having you losing hope. So I commend April and her husband to come on the Red Table Talk. And again, they were so courageous, and they're beginning to tear down the stigma, because as people come out and share their story and educate people about mental illness, and also let people know about high functioning depression, because often sometimes you can look at someone, you can't judge a book by its cover, because they can look from the exterior perfectly fine, because that's just their characteristics, that's just their makeup. However, inside, in the interior, they could be bleeding and devastating with depression. So like Miss April said, let's be kind with one another and be encouraging. And when someone reaches out to you and they say that they're experiencing mental health and struggling to stay alive, be an encouragement to them. Offer to go along with an evaluation with them to get properly diagnosed, because a treatment plan is available. Mental illness is difficult. I've had 12 year long journey, and it's been a long, hard journey. Yes. However, I after my suicide attempt, I prayed to God, and I vowed to myself and my son that I would do whatever I can to prevent that from happening. And that's why I have my team, my psychiatrist and my counselor, to when I am experiencing depression, and they can get me back on the road to recovery and determine where the triggers were and set up boundaries and take care of self-care. And it's okay sometimes when the only thing you can do is accomplish something in a day, as long as you accomplish something. Because I can remember back when I first was diagnosed, some days I can only take a shower and sit down, but I did something. So I encourage you, your milestones that you make, at least that you are making an accomplishment to do something. And the first thing is to healing is to recognize that you are having erratic behavior, you're crying, you're feeling depressed, irritated. And once you recognize those things that you're experiencing, to learn to reach out to the specialists, because they are trained to assist you, to evaluate you, and to provide you with a treatment plan. I know also well, again, 12 years living with a mental illness. Is it easy? No. I have my good days and bad days. However, I am living today, thank God, and I wanted to use my own testimony to encourage you to reach out, to learn to heal your traumas. Yeah, learn to heal your traumas with your psychiatrist and your therapist. They'll be able to give you tools and homework and unpack the feelings that you're experiencing that is causing you to have debilitating depression. So again, I just wanted to recognize Miss April and her husband and for coming out, being transparent and vulnerable, because suicide is such a taboo subject and stigmatized. But they came out today and they unpacked some things and they shared their daughter's life. And let's not let Miss Cheslie life die in vain, that we learn to speak out. And again, my deepest condolence goes out to her family, her friends, and her fans. And I hate that we had to lose her to mental illness. But our goal is to start having the conversations and taking mental health more seriously. Just as we go get a physical, we need to also go get a mental evaluation when we know that we are having erratic behavior, irritable, sleeping a lot. Um, so those things that you're experiencing, reach out to the specialist, and again, they'll be able to determine and assess your condition and provide you with a plan to help you learn to live with your mental illness condition. Like I say, 12 years I've learned to cope. It has been a hard road, uh, difficult, but I live today. I live as your witness. I live as your hope. That hope is available, that you can be optimistic, because you sometimes you have to see someone that has actually walked in your shoes. I've walked in your shoes and having debilitating depression, times where I didn't want to get out of the bed. I didn't shower for a week. So I totally understand what you may be experiencing, but I just wanted to let you know help is available. You can learn coping strategies to help you get back stable and to learn to cope with your mental illness. That is my goal, my desire, my initiative, why I started the channel. Just to inspire you, encourage you, like I say, and turn my pain into purpose and to help you to learn to live with your mental illness condition. So I thank you for listening to my channel. I always like to leave you with your now is not your forever. Please don't make a permanent decision on a temporary problem. And I know your story because I myself lived it and am living it. And again, I just wanted to encourage you and inspire you to no longer reach out, no longer suffer in silence, to reach out. Reach out to those friends and family. We want you here. They want you here. And you can learn to live with your condition. You can learn to unpack your traumas and heal from those traumas. So I thank you for listening to my channel. May God bless you. May He keep you, and until the next time.